Hello again, and welcome back to the Voice of Metal, where we talk about all things metal, or the voices of metal, where we talk about hopefully later on the musicians of metal and more about them as people themselves and individuals instead of just the guys in a band. Because like everybody else, we're all people, right? And we all have lives. We all have things going on in our lives that make things more difficult or more easy, depending on how you look at it. One of the things I actually was rather interesting thinking of this reminds me of what I experienced the last couple of days, and I'm planning on going to do a virtual thing of Unleash the Power Within from Tony Robbins. And actually, I think this is one of the things that actually one of the my goals that I'm going to take action, which I have been doing so far, is making this channel work. And without the support of all my metal family out there, that will not happen. But I'm determined, no matter what, to make it possible and make it happen, so that way you guys can enjoy talking to, or even how you say, hearing some of the musicians out there's personal stories about them themselves, maybe their lives, their pets, who knows what we'll come across to discover about them as people themselves. And some of the stories that were on that program that I was watching, it's the Summit uh, conference that they have. There was a lot of very, 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 very motivational speeches from people that have exceeded well beyond that which most people could ever accomplish. You would think they could accomplish in their lives, and it's changed them for so much better. Um, One was a guy that lost almost 300 pounds, and I thought, wow, wow. And the thing is, it was before Tony Rose got into it right away. It was like there was a gentleman that was actually said, "Look, I will, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna end up dying. Um, so I'm gonna do one thing for you, and this is it. This is all there is, and I'm not gonna do any more for you." Basically, he basically gave him some, I guess, vegan food or something that was low, like something to help him lose the weight. It's like salads and things like that. And he figured he tries for 6 months. He got him this food and stuff that he gained so much from that. They lost weight, and also his one friend told him about an exercise bar for just his hands to get some sort of motion going, since he couldn't move his body. And the whole thing is, when he was in that state, he was to the point where he couldn't even see. And I said, how in the world can a guy that's gone from that to where he is right now is phenomenal. And there was another gentleman that actually inspired me quite a bit too, where he went in the wrong crowds. He didn't have um, somebody to look up to, a father figure. He basically had been doing drugs and doing this and doing that, all these bad things, right? And then one day he was in the hospital where he was technically completely paralyzed because of it. And with Tony's help, he actually found his energy, his inner power, which is kind of what I'm going with this topic, because it's power metal. But the his motivation from what Tony did, he got to thinking about what he could do to pivot where he was at now to being something, saying he cannot because of his wheelchair, but what he could do or make himself profitable, and how you say, a power of force in society and himself. And he started a lawnmower business. He had a riding lawnmower that he could ride. He can drive around. He can do this lawn work on his own, and he started growing and growing and growing. And he hires some people and all this other stuff. And now he actually gives back to his community, which I think is really powerful, really awesome. And to me, that just touched my heart. I mean, some of these stories literally made me cry. And I'm hoping that maybe some of you out there, if you guys have those kinds of things happen in your life that you need some help, check out Tony Robbins stuff. I mean, even if you're not going to go to the Unleash the Power Within seminar that he has right now, he does this every year, and he also helps feed families out there that need it, which is great. From I think that he's contributing like for each person that signs up, he's given 25 meals to feed America, which is really cool. So it's not only benefiting you, but it's also benefiting other people as well. Kind of reminds me of the All Within My Hands Foundation that Metallica does. They've done stuff with Feed America and some other uh, charitable organizations as well. So let's get going. Oh, besides, I forgot one more thing. You guys can do right now, right here. See that QR code? Scan that because that will take you to Pretty Girls Do Ugly Things website, which is Carla Harvey from the Butcher Babies website. She had a problem with her eye 10 years ago, and now she's just recently discovered or found out that she's had the same problem with her other eye that she needs to have fixed. And she needs money for the operation since she doesn't have health insurance. It's like I said, we're all people, we're all individuals, we all have our things that happen in life that we are beyond our control. And I want to make sure that um, I help her out because I do know about it and I'd like to help her. I know a while back her friend in California actually had some problems and tragedies when she was in the California fires years ago, by about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I think, possibly. And I contributed to that myself, and I'm hoping that I can help her with that now. So, like some of the other people in the story, they are giving back to the community or helping others out while they're helping themselves and make themselves a better person. But that's the whole point. It's about caring. But anyway, I'm moving on. I'm gonna get to the power metal list, which is unleash the power within kind of thing. I guess you could say of the top 25. Now this is one of the metal genres I'm not as familiar with, so you'll have to excuse me because I don't know some of the albums. I don't know some of the songs. Somebody out there might know. These are like some of them are older, some are newer. It looks like because like this one's from 2004. 25 is Heavenly Dust to Dust. I think most of power metal is more like a operatic kind of style sound. Maybe I saw some titles with like Dungeons and Dragons because Dragon Force is one of those bands that are in the list. Number 24 is Dragon Force. It's Human Rampage is that came out in 2006, which I didn't know Dragon Force was still even around. To be honest, I've heard of them before. I'm not very familiar with their music, so it's interesting. Number 23 is Running Wild, the Port Royal of 1988. It's interesting. Before there were pirate metal, you just played power metal and sang about pirates. Okay, that's interesting. So I guess they're apparently a German running wild. Oh, so that's exactly what German running wild did. A Port Royal. Okay, I don't know that much about it, so it's hard to say. I'm assuming that's Port Royal is the actual album of that. It's kind of interesting. Number 22 is Savage Savatin. I think is how you say it. Sorry if I butchered the name. Hull of the Mountain King is 1987 is when that came out. One look of the album covers. The Hull of the Mountain King should leave no mystery as to what kind of album you're dealing with. Bare chested king with in front of a screen's fantasy. Okay, gotcha. That's interesting. It is an interesting cover. If you can see it here, it's got like a king with a. It's a little fuzzy. Sorry about that. it's rather interesting. It looks kind of reminds me of like a Dungeons and Dragons thing with a treasure chest and things like that, and a dark dungeon type thing for the king. I guess it is a mountain king, probably a dwarven mountain king, kind of like Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. And Garrett, God, what is a word? See, I have a hard time pronouncing that one too. So what I'm gonna do?
Angra.
Angra. Okay, I want to make sure I said that right. Is number 21. Temple of Shadows came out in 2004. These are all fairly new. I thought these were going to be all older ones, but it seems like there's quite a few of them that are fairly new, like in the 2000s. Well, I should say not real new because I'm sorry. For those who are younger, it's not that new because it's probably most of your life. 2025 to 2000 to me is kind of new, but it's been 25 years, so I guess it's not as old as I think. But anyway, now this see here's an egg guy. I think that's how you say that.
Egg guy.
Egg guy. Okay, egg guy is number 20, and Mandrake is 2001. This is rather interesting. Egg guy kicked off their fourth album, Mandrake, by sticking to the arena born tempo, ushering a spirited moments of bombastic chorus of Tears of the Mandrake. They stomp on the accelerator shortly after on a double kick fueled Golden Dawn. Don't ask me what that is. I'm sure that's the name of the song. Altering between speeds of album progressives, engaging the listener in a sort of tug and war. Okay. Balancing, a playful balancing throughout the record. Interesting. It's kind of interesting cover because it looks kind of like the Joker. At least that's what I think. I don't know. That's probably where they got it from. They probably stole it from them. Who knows? Because I mean, Joker's been around probably a lot longer than this has. Um, the next album here is Primal Fear Black Sun 2002 and number 19. See, all these are really new. I'm really kind of surprised. I guess I don't know that much about power metal at all, which is kind of interesting. So after falling to land, wait a minute, after failing to land the role of Judas Priest do frontman after departing, Garriman Ray and Raph Shepherds teamed up with Sinister Bane's man Matt Sinner to form Primal Fear at first. Oh, this might be something my son's new lady friend in his life might actually like because she likes Iron Maiden. So this might be a band for her. It's our Primal Fear, and the album is Black Sun 2002. So we'll have to check that out, see if it sounds kind of like that. Number 18 is Camelot, as Epica, and Camelot spelled with a K, not a C. Well, yeah, it's K because Camelot normally is spelled with a C. This is Epica in 2003. Power metal has never caught on stateside like it did in Europe. So apparently it's a Europe thing. I'll have to do this later. Somebody's calling me. Oh God. Anyway, I'll have to brush through this because I've got a phone call that somebody's wanting to talk to me for some reason. Number 17 is Manowar Hall of England in 1984. Number 16 is Santa Arctica Ecliptica in 1988. 15 is Crimson Glory Transcends 1988. Number 14 is Falconer. Falconer is 2001. 13 is Manowar King of Metal 1988. Number 12 is Blind Guardian Follow the Blind, which is kind of interesting. That was done in 1989. Then there's another 11 is Santa Argentina, I think it's how you pronounce that. Winners Hearts Guild, 2008. Oh, here's one that I know somebody personally that knows that. Um, Number 10 is Nightwish Oceanborn in 1998, which I know a coworker of mine that actually likes Nightwish. Number 9 is Rhapsody Power of the Dragon Flame is 2002. Let's see what else we got here. Number 8 is Symphony X, The Divine Wings of Tragedy, 1997. Number 7 is Lost Horizon, A Flame to the Ground Beneath. It's 2003, which is fairly new too. Um, well, at least in the 2000s, I should say. Stradiverse is number 6 in Visions, 1987. See, none of these sound familiar to me because, like I said, I don't do power metal that much. Number 5 is Symphony X, The Odyssey, 2002. I guess I'll have to listen to some just to find out what it's like, which I have been listening to some of the other ones before. Gamma Ray is number 4. Land of the Free is 1985. Now, this one I have heard of the band before. Number 3 is Halloween. Halloween, sorry. Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1, 1987. So that'd be kind of interesting. Number 2 is Blind Guardian, Imaginations of the Other Side. Hold on one second. Let me hear you reply back. Number 2 is Blind Guardian, Imaginations from the Other Side, 1985. That's an older one. Well, at least it's in the 90s. Another one is Halloween. Halloween is number 1. Keeper of the Seven Keys, of course. Part 2, 1988. So I guess apparently they think Part 2 is better than Part 1, which I didn't know they had such a um, interesting title for it. It's almost like they're probably telling a story, I'm assuming. Um, I was just reading the article here. Interesting. I guess he's got pipes that he plays, I guess, for it, kind of like Korn does. Um, yeah, that's interesting. The second installment of Halloween's Keeper of the Seven Keys series, built upon everything the band's laid out from previous years, continuing to define power metal, the almighty guitar tandem of Kai Hanston, I think that's it, woven with classical inspired leads around ferocious themes empowered by the human combustion engine lingo. Okay. Anyway, some of the classics are Eagle Flies Free, The Cheeky Dr. Stein, The Rebellious I Want Out. Okay, that's interesting. So that's some of the titles for some of the songs. Interesting. Well, I'm sorry that I end up pushing that a little bit faster than normal because I had a phone call. I just sent him a reply text message. Um, while I was on here, which is highly unusual. You never know what you're going to get when you're doing live. If it was recorded, I could have edited that out, but I'm not going to do that because I'm live. And I haven't seen anybody chatting in here, so I don't know if it's even working. So let me make sure that this is working because I have no idea. Okay, I guess it is. I'll have to check that out later. I was thinking maybe Clover might show up. I am on here a little earlier than normal, but not super early. So it's probably like 1:30 if you're East Coast time, which is pretty late or pretty early in the morning. So I'm not expecting anybody to be here like yesterday night. See, even I'm getting tired. Whew. Sorry. Anyway, enough is enough of that. Anyway, just so you know, I'm hoping that you guys out there will use your personal power to do something good for other people, and maybe even part of what Tony Robbins talks about is changing your state. It's phenomenal stuff, and that's what reminds me of the power metal stuff. It's kind of energetic, powerful. I think a lot of the stuff tells certain stories, probably of people of like ancient night times and stuff is what it sounds like. A lot of them, like Keeper of the Seven Keys and things like that. So we'll see. I might have to check some of those out. They're probably not my cup of tea because I'm not. I like more heavier kind of deathcore, new metal, um, black metal, possibly a little bit. Um, I can't think of some of the other ones. There are like the industrial metal bands out there. I think those are my speed, not the power metal. But you never know. The power metal might be really cool. I might actually like some of those. I think Iron Maiden would be considered power metal, and I do like some of their stuff. So it'd be kind of interesting to see. Except they're not listed there, so I'm assuming they're probably not. Um, I'm not even sure if anybody does know what kind of music they play, like what genre of metal. Yeah, make a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And thanks for watching. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for subscribing, liking, and subscribing. You guys are so great. I've got 169 people so far. We'll see how that goes. Um, One of the things that I'm hoping to benefit from the Power Within seminar is to help me focus in what I need to accomplish, my energy, my power, my efforts to make my channel grow. That's my goal. And why do I want to be there? Because there's this very specific reason. I'm not going to tell any of you guys that, but one specific reason, well, two, maybe three. I got at least three. One, the one that got it started, just like other things like my drawing and other stuff in my life, and rekindling my love for Star Wars again. Yeah, even though I haven't hated it, I just haven't been engaging in that. And a lot of other things in my life too, to be honest. There's a certain individual that has brought a lot of what I used to have passion for back a little bit, and I think that she has a lot to do with that, even though she may not realize that or know that. But you know, when I first, it was funny. All I had was a look. That's all it took. And I had to know. I had to find out. And yeah. So I was motivated. I was really motivated. That's like my power. I took action. You know, I didn't wait. I took action for 3 years at least, maybe four, to find out a way of getting a hold of somebody and getting to know them. And it didn't pan out for him. But years later, lo and behold, guess who shows up? That person. But anyway, I will not say who that is, but I'm sure you know. Anyway, just like other things, there are other goals in my life, like trying to retire early, travel the world. I'm gonna go see the Rolling Stones. Also, I plan on playing in the World Series of Poker. I'm hoping. It's like about $10,000 to buy in. If I can get into a satellite to save me some money, so I'm not, using a large portion of savings for that, I'm going to do that because it's a lot cheaper in the long run. Um, it was something that I've been wanting to do ever since. Well, after I learned about poker, I learned how to play poker, and I won a few matches at a place locally here. It was really cool after my ex-wife left. Um, it brought me this power, energy, and maybe some understanding of maybe make me a more aware person of the situations at hand, I guess you could say. Strategy, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Technical analysis. I'm not sure what you define it as. Is making myself aware of what's going on around me a little bit more sometimes, so that I'm not blindsided by things later on down the road. But for me personally, that was the other thing I'm looking forward to, and I'm hoping that in February that my secret, I say, a secret, my soulmate apparently might be coming into my life in February. I don't know. I hate to say it, tell that to Clover. It's like she's a wonderful person. I love her. She's great. She's been a very big supporter of mine, and I do appreciate that very much. But apparently, I don't know. We'll see. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna worry about it. Then there's other people too, but you never know. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And then when that happens, then I will let you all know. Thanks for watching. Take care. Don't forget to headbang, like, and subscribe to the channel. That means a lot to me, and hopefully for the future metalheads out there. Um, Keep this going, keep it continuing. Because if I do travel the world, guess what? I'm gonna take you guys with me, kind of in a way. I'm gonna be in different locations if I do, and I'll try to keep my streaming up no matter what. Um, it may not be at the right time, right day, but you never know. It depends on what's going on. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night, and don't forget, we're all one big metal family, and unleash your personal power.